Welcome everybody to Sim Racing Alliance Amateur Racing League. We are in Season 2. We are on Week 5. And we are at Donington Park. I'm sorry, we're on Week 6. And we're at Donington. This week is going to be a wet race, so I hope you've prepared to watch a lot of action on track. I know us in the booth have all been preparing for this. And let me introduce who's joining me in the booth tonight. We have my first commentator, the Speedy Boy in the big Bentley, who harasses me every week in that Bentley. His name is Evan Kim. Evan, welcome.
Thanks, Tyler. Love commentating the AM series every week. This has been a blast this season. We've seen so many battles, and you're right, tonight in the wet, it's going to be especially spicy. We're joined here tonight by another guest, also blistering fast, took a podium last night in the pro race. If you didn't catch that, Mr. Douglas Mitchell.
I packed my umbrella. Boys, glad to be back. And like you said, the rain is going to bring some intensity this week. And we've already seen some slippery boys in qualifying, spinning out a little bit. So I think we're pretty amped to see what this race unfolds for us.
Well, I am happy to be back this week, and so let's go ahead and show you the standings of the current championship. And so, Evan, if you kind of want to walk us through the podium and kind of give us your thoughts on that right now.
Sure thing. Mr. Joshua Arnold is sitting on top right now, P1, followed closely by Jose Toledo, and followed even more closely by Jess Osborne, P3. Dae-Hee-Yun, P4, and Colin Shea, P5. These guys are real close there at the top three, and then the battle there outside of those podium positions is crazy tight as well. So a good finish tonight is going to be especially important as we come to the tail end of the season here.
Yeah, the top three are separated by 26 points. So, you know, with 3 races left this week, Snetterton next week, in our finale at Barcelona. Each podium spot is separated by about 10 points. So these drivers are the most likely to finish on the podium, and it's really going to be who can just straight beat out the other driver, because none of them have been eliminated from contention. So it'll be interesting to see who finishes on the podium at the end of the season.
The midfield is super tight too. P9, 10, and 11 all share 215 points. So it's crazy tight, and these drivers are more than ready to differentiate themselves from the rest of the grid.
Yep, we've got Alex Daniel, Carlos Guzman, and John Foguth all tied. And I think, was it Carlos or Jose that finished on the podium last week?
I believe that was Carlos, took P3 at Kyalami.
So yeah, Carlos launched himself to P10 and tied, P9 with his podium finish last week. So it'd be interesting to see if he can get a little back-to-back action this week. All right, and I'm just looking through the rest of the grid, and I mean, if you really want to look at it, P13 all the way to, where is it, P21, separated by less than 50 points. So, yeah, everything is still to drive for.
A lot of opportunity for leapfrog action here, and got to keep it on track, and you still got to be fast. But if you make any little mistake and let one of these guys behind you finish ahead, then you're sacrificing a lot for the championship here. There's only 2 more races to go after this, and you don't want to make any big mistakes here.
So let's go ahead and hop on over to qualifying. We're finishing up on the last 3 minutes of qualifying. And, last 3 minutes of the first round of our qualifying. So we split the qualifying in 2 again, since we have such large participation week in and week out. So the first 15 drivers that are out there, the 16 drivers that are out there setting laps, and we currently have Dae-Hee-Yun on provisional pole with a 1:33.6, which means the track is not that wet out there. I think our race last night, we were in the 35s, 36s with how wet it was, and so that's looking favorable for the AMs. It's just a little slippery. It's not full on wet, and so he's sitting on pole with a 33.6, followed behind him with a Jason Allen with a 34.0, and Jess Osborne with a 34.2. So pretty close battle for the front. Anybody can take it. And as you look, the weather conditions are changing. And so the track is getting drier and drier right now. These drivers are going to go in, and I think the second round is probably going to have their best couple of laps early on, and that'll be the best condition the track is in all qualifying. And then I think in 10 minutes it's going to start raining more, and so the track is going to get more and more wet towards the end of the session. So it'll be interesting to see how weather plays a factor in the qualifying here.
You can already see a dry line on the track as we see drivers going around. That was something that we were desperately missing in our pro qualifying. That being said, to Tyler's point, in the graphic in the top right, it's only light rain at the moment, which is why we're seeing some pretty competitive wet race times. But as the session continues, it's going to get worse and worse. But even with the lighter rain conditions, we're seeing formidable drivers like Arnold here sliding all over the track, still struggling to get some traction. So it's going to prove even more difficult as the conditions worsen.
Well, Josh Arnold was up on his time by 0.3. He was going to improve by 0.3, and he just lost it all in that sector right there. Now he's losing time. Now he's down on his best time by 0.2, 0.3. So it's tough when you see that green all lap, and then you see it just fade, turn to red in the very last sector.
Yeah, none of us in the booth drive mid-engine cars, but a lot of the drivers that were doing so yesterday and in the practice sessions were complaining about just how skittish some of these cars were in the rain, especially when they start losing a little bit of traction. They love to just spin around, really leaving you for really worse for wear. The front-engine cars have a little bit more grip, but they have a really hard time rotating in the rain. But that extra rotation, the lack of rotation rather, does make it a little bit more safe to navigate the water.
Well, I'm hopping
right,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I was driving the Bentley last night, and with that long wheelbase and being a front engine car and all the weights at the front, it was brutal on this tight, twisty track to get the rear end to turn along with the front, especially in that sector 3 with the basically U-turns back to back. It was almost impossible to get the car to carry any kind of speed through there. I was really wishing I was in a mid-engine car. Oh no,
Jose, he was up on his time, 0.3 coming into those last 2 corners, and went off track, and his qualifying time has now expired. And so we'll hop on board with Carlos. Carlos has got a time that is 1.5 tenths faster right now. He's coming into the last couple of corners. He's rounding the last corner right now. He's got 3 tenths up. He's gonna actually move up a couple of positions if he can do it. Yep, he goes up 1 spot and passes Will Forsling. So he's in provisional P11. So that's the end of our first round of qualifying. And so we've got on the provisional pole Daehee Yoon, followed by Jason Allen, Josh Arnold, and Jess Osborne. So very close battle up there. If someone is going to want to dethrone the current pole sitter, they'll need to put in a 133.6 or 133.5. All right, so let's go ahead and hop on over. And Evan, while we have this downtime, while people are still on their outlaps, actually, Doug, why don't you walk us through the track map, since you finished on the podium last night. I think you're the expert in the booth around Donington Park.
I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I did turn left and right a few times. So diving right in, you come out of turn 1, and it's this really, really downhill right-hand turn. You got to get off the power pretty gradually, especially in the wet, because the car wants to slide out from you because you're going downhill. It wants to wash out. If you can manage the traction, it's a very easy turn 2 and turn 3. Even in the wet, it's flat out. And then you have a kink to the right for turn 4, and again a little bit flat out for turn 5. And then the tricky bit, because you're going back uphill for turn 6 and turn 7. Turn 7 is a pretty sharp right-hand turn, and you have to take the curbing really well in order to make sure you align yourself properly for the short straight ahead. And if you don't, you can wash really wide, and there's a painted green curb that if you touch that, you're spinning every single time. And we had a couple of victims to that last night. After that little straight section, you have a very soft right-hand turn that you have to just commit to. If you don't, you're going to lose a lot of time on the back straight leading to turn 9. Once you get to turn 9, it's a very, very small chicane, so you can basically just cut a line right through the middle of it. And the more you commit, the more time you gain. And sometimes you can commit a little bit too much and get a track penalty, a track cut warning. That is one of the few parts of the track that will issue a numbered warning. But if you commit correctly, you can gain a lot of time on your competitors. And then there's another straight section that leads to what Evan and I were griping about earlier, turns 10 and 11, which are glorified U-turns. And in these wet conditions, the car is just cutting power because of loss of traction. Traction control is just really eating up any power that you want to put down. So you're basically crawling around turn 10, sharp right, and then turn 11, sharp left, and that's a lap around Donington Park.
Let me tell you how much I hate turn 10 and turn 11. Oh man, the BMW last night just felt like a dog out of those corners.
A dog with only 3 legs.
Yeah, and traction control's kicking in, and you're just going nowhere. Man, this track is so sketchy because all your turns, I feel like they're off camber, so like you're tilting away from the apex, and so the car is always on the brink of wanting to slide away from you, and so it takes a lot of bravery, but a lot of car control because you have to know which curves you can touch, which curves you can brake on. The hint there is you actually can't brake on any of the curves around here, but there are a couple of curves you can at least drive on.
The reason this track is so fun to drive on is because it flows really well, all apart, up except for turns 10 and 11. Those don't flow at all. But the rest of the corners all link together really nicely. You have to commit to the next turn before you even see it in order to get the right line. And there are many tracks where you can kind of assume multiple different racing lines. These small British tracks lend themselves well to just basically one racing line. And if you're not on that line, you're off track. And as you can see on track, because now we're back watching some more qualifying here, the side of the track isn't gravel or extra tarmac, it's grass. And in the wet, you are spinning and going for a slide if you touch that stuff. So needless to say, a really fun, but a really challenging driving experience, especially with worse driving conditions than optimum.
Ooh, and Ricky Rios, he was coming up on another driver right there in the BMW. BMW was going slow, and he wanted to try and get past him. And when he did that, he ended up going too deep into the corner and went off track, which was a shame. I think he was improving by 4/10 on his best time at the moment. But you know, we do have a rule in our qualifying that you cannot overtake, and so the other driver, if they are improving on their time and they're still on a valid lap, they have the right to stay there and try to complete their lap. So that's a really tricky thing to account for in the wet, but it's something you've gotta anticipate, and that's why you have such a long time to actually complete qualifying. And while I was talking, Mr. Martinez put himself up there on provisional P9. It's a great job.
He was the driver that had that little awkward debacle with Rios. So
no, he was not. No, he was behind Rios. The driver who had the debacle with Rios was a BMW. It was Mr. Rogers, and this is, I think, Mr. Rogers, one of his first races with us. No,
he was the infamous BMW that got caught in the pit lane of all things.
Oh no! Well, he had a little bit of a snafu right there, and so let's kind of take a look at some of the other drivers that are out here setting laps right now. Mr. Rios is back on a lap, which he's doing even better. He's 1.2 seconds up on his time, so that would rocket him up into the top 10. 1.3 seconds now. He's improving. Oliver's lap, he lost a little bit of time through that chicane. He lost 0.3 right there. But let's see if he's able to nail this U-turn, followed by another U-turn.
He was blessed to have a dry line, though.
He's losing time, though. He just couldn't put the traction down right there. He's now only improving by 0.6. Yeah, he's down to 5.5 tenths. He's going to cross the line. He's moving up to P13. So he's definitely got more pace through that last sector. He just needs to put it all together. Oh, and you want to know what? The rain has started to increase. And so the track is going to get more and more wet over the next 7 minutes of this qualifying.
That will definitely bring some comfort for those sitting in the pit lane right now, just crossing their fingers that their good lap times right now hold up.
So I'm going to hop on board Mr. Rimzik. Fun fact, Rimzik has raced in every single Sim Racing Alliance League race. He is one of 4 nerds, as we like to call them, that have, or actually as Evan likes to call them, that's raced in every single race. Doug, do you know who the other 3 are? Here's a little trivia for you.
One of them, I think, is Max Sanchez. Is that right? And then there's this other guy who's supremely nerdy. I think he goes by the name of Tyler James. Do you know that guy?
Yeah. Okay, there's 2.
Honestly, I'm not sure of the last nerd title contender.
Evan, who's the last driver who's competed?
I'm ashamed of you, Doug. You don't think I'm a geek?
Yes, Evan, it's you.
Yep.
I'm in the booth with 2 sweaty boys.
Every night I've been there.
No wonder it stinks up in here.
Oh yeah.
Well, congrats to you two. One of these days, if you take a night off and I can manage to steal some more points from you, I'd really appreciate it. All right?
Not a chance there, bud.
Yeah,
I figured.
I'll give you Barcelona. I'll be out Barcelona, so who knows? Maybe I'll commentate I'll commentate on the Barcelona race on the pro finale. You'll see me in the booth. I'll get credit for it there. All right, let's see. Let's hop on board with Mr. Alex Daniel. He is up on his time, 9 tenths coming through the final chicane. Now he's got the 2 worst corners on the entire track for this car. But there's still hope he can improve on his worst time, as long as his worst time was pretty bad to here. And he's matched the pace. He's matched pace. He hasn't lost any time here. Let's see what he can do in the final corner. He's currently sitting in P20. He's improving going into the corner, but he lost time on the exit. He's 8 tenths up. He is going to cross the line and move. He stays at P20. Oh, man, there was just such a large gap. Okay, so he's closed the gap to the positions in front of him, but he really needs to put together a better lap time if he's going to move up the grid. Let's see who else is improving on their time. Mr. Jose Guzman. Oh, man, as soon as I hopped onto him, all of that time went away. Mr. Constantine is up 4 tenths. Coming into the last 2 corners. It's funny, you see everybody's like improving on their times. Come to the last 2 corners and you can just see time slip away, but not Mr. Constantine. He went into that section 4 tenths and he came out 7 tenths up. So he's 8 tenths, 9 tenths. He's gonna improve by almost a second. Puts him in P18. You know he's gonna be happy about that.
The conditions are looking pretty awful, so these guys need to honestly just pray for a clean lap, let alone a fast lap at this point. This is glorified practice, not hot lapping anymore.
Hopping on board with Mr. Daniel. He came back into this corner, up another 4 tenths. Let's see if he can nail the last corner. Wow, he did 6 tenths. 6 tenths on the exit, 5 tenths on the exit. And he moves up to P18. Mr. Rios is also on his lap, and he is improving. Oh, he just started it, so we'll hop on board with someone else. Mr. Jose Guzman is looking to continue to climb up the order. He's improving by half a second. You gonna go on board with him? Absolutely.
Yeah, let's get a perspective of driving in this wet here.
Oh, he braked early, then gassed it, then braked, then gassed, and that's what caused him to go off right there. I'm not sure if you heard the engine, and so he invalidated that lap. Let's go with Mr. Constantine. Constantine.
Constantine, brother.
Constantine. Oh my gosh, I am dumb. He moves up to P16. Look at that. Great job. All right, Dan Meyer, currently P24, improving by 0.3. That would move him up several positions.
I know where he's going for dinner tonight. White Castle on the hood.
He's improving by almost 0.4. Oh, Rios just finished his lap. He moved from P13 to P11. He is knocking on the door of the top 10. Looks like he's going to get one more lap in. Everyone that is
great rotation.
Yeah, he's going to improve by 0.5. Dan Meyer goes from P25 to P21. All right, let's see who's Jacob Wolfman, currently in P28. He's got over a second to the position in front of him.
Come on, Bentley.
Yeah, he just lost a lot of time through there.
The big body doesn't like this wet. It's sliding everywhere.
It is awful, let me tell you.
So I'm going to hop on board with Mr. Rios as soon as Jacob goes through this chicane right here. Oh, he's got a fast car behind him, but Jacob is still improving on his time. He does not need to get out of the way. Oh no, he just lost it. He needs to move. Oh man. I think that was Rios. That was Rios behind him. Rios was improving on his time.
Oh,
and
I thought his car looked familiar.
Oh, you hate to see it. Oh, Martinez just put a time in that puts him up to P7. And he's going to be able to do one more lap. Let's see. Guzman's going to be able to do another lap. And Grover. Did he cross the line with enough time? He did. Grover's going to get to do one more lap. So is Guzman. Guzman's up by half a second through this sector. Holy cow. See if he can keep it on track. Oof. That was scary.
He is fully committing right now.
Oh, I mean, he's up 0.4. He's losing some time. Man, he's losing a lot of time. Now he's only up 2.5. Oh, there he goes. He's going to make it back right there. He's currently improving by 0.3. We'll see where he can, how far up he can move. 0.4. Okay, that was a great exit. 0.4 would currently put him up in around the P13 area. Oh, he had to get on and off the throttle there. He's 3.5. Let's see where he's going to do it. Move him to P14. Great job, Mr. Guzman. All right, let's hop on board. Grover and Wolfman, both of them are not improving on their times. So unless they find 2.5 seconds in this corner, I think we have our qualifying sorted.
The Guzman brothers separated by a mere 1/10.
You know, it's the genetics. They're basically the same person. All right, so if we look at our top 10, we've got Mr. Yoon, Allen, Arnold, Osborne, Hartman, Toledo, Martinez, Turner, Bowden. Did I say that correctly? And Shea. Bodine. I'm so sorry. Well, we got a lot of positive feedback about the driver interviews last week, and so I'm going to give the drivers just a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds to get their setup sorted out, and then I will go jump on into their chat. Let me go ahead and hop in with Martinez and Constantine. Damien, Toma, how are you guys doing?
Yes. Hey.
You got your
Good on you.
You got your setup all figured out?
Yeah. I sucked ass during the qualify.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, it wasn't that bad. Martinez, you put it on P7. That's not a bad spot whatsoever.
Yeah. It's gonna be difficult at the beginning, I hope.
Yeah. Well, hey, just keep that Ferrari under control. Keep it on track, and good things will come to those that are patient. So you guys have a great race, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks,
That's good.
thanks. I mean, that's definitely
Thanks.
what we're gonna try. Keep it on the track and
All right.
safe.
We'll see.
Have a great race.
We'll be watching.
Okay.
Jason, Joshua, you got your setups in order?
Just hit drive.
All
You're
right.
good.
All right. Well, walk me through that qualifying. What were your thoughts?
I know there was like a 5-minute window there was really dry before it started raining again. So I just wanted to focus in and get my times in there. Luckily I did, and it seemed like after that point things got slow again. So I was just focusing on that 5-minute stretch that I luckily found. I think Josh did too.
Yeah, you guys are sitting P2, P3. You guys gonna play some mind games with Dahi? Gonna pressure him?
I want Dahi to finish lap 1.
Yeah,
That is
but
all I
behind you, right? Behind you.
Ideally.
Yeah. Will we see any team orders? Let's say you come through and you're in P2, P3. Josh, are you gonna call for the overtake, or Jason? Are you gonna say no? You got to earn it on track.
He might have to earn it. I think he'll have a better shot at getting Dahi than me, so we may do that at some point, but we'll get there when we get there.
Okay. Well, you guys have a great race.
Thank you.
Take care. Good luck.
Yeah, it'll warn you.
Gentlemen, you're on stream.
Hello.
Dahi on pole. Is this back-to-back weeks on pole?
That could be a good or a bad omen.
You know what? I think it's going to be a good omen. You're going to be away from all the chaos that's in the back. Great lap.
Yeah, we'll see what I have to say about that.
Jess, I was just thinking, you've got Josh Arnold, Jason Allen, Dahi, all in front of you. These are your championship rivals. What are you thinking?
Honestly, my priority is beating Toledo. I think that's the most manageable goal and the most important defense for my championship standing right now.
Well, Toledo's in P6, so you've already got the first part done, which is out qualifying them.
And we'll see how long that works.
Damiani, can you avoid the carnage of lap 1, lap 2?
Well, we retorqued the wheel clamp today, so we can leave out the technical difficulties. In terms of avoiding carnage, hopefully.
Well, we'll be hoping as well.
And gonna try and finish. It's been a little while. Pulled myself out of contention, so hopefully I can get something out of this week.
Tyrell, how's that Porsche feeling in the wet?
It's just a Porsche doing Porsche things. I think we got the mental game won here. It's not about who finishes the race first. You have to finish first.
I totally hear that, and so well, I hope you guys all have a great race and no contacts and a lot of fun. We'll be watching.
All right, thank you. You enjoy from the booth.
Will do. All right, gentlemen, our drivers are ready. They are excited and nervous for this wet race. So let's see here. Let me pop out the stream. There we go. Get everything all set up. And let me hit drive. All right, they're rounding the final corner. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, looks like we've got Josh Arnold who's getting Jason Allen who's got the better line, better start, and he's going to come around turn 1 in the lead. Dahi's not giving up. We have some off tracks in the back. You can see that in your picture-in-picture down low. We've got Jason Allen and Dahi going side by side. It looks like Dahi backs out a little bit, knows he's got a long race ahead of him, gives up the position. Jason said in the pre-race interview that he wanted to come out of turn 1 ahead of him, but he didn't want any ill will to happen to Dahi, so I'm happy to see both these drivers make it through. We've got some context going on in the back. Oh, Evan, what happened there? Can you tell us what happened?
Like, they tried to go 3 wide and not enough grip there to make that work. And looks like Dan Meyer might have washed out into the guy on the outside and spun back across the track.
Oh, Mr. Rios also is dropping down the order. It looks like he had a contact in his, or no, he just spun out, it looks like. Wow, okay, all right, I'm sorry, everybody, let's hop on board. We got the leaders, we got them right there. Hartman and Martinez are battling. Or is that Hartman and Turner? That's Hartman and Turner.
Heartbreak for Hartman with a drive-through penalty for being out of place on the start there. So he's going to be having to pit instantaneously to get rid of that.
All right, well, we are on board. It looks like the leaders have already started getting a second gap in front of them. We've got quite a long train right here as someone goes wide. I think that is Hartman. He just went wide into the final corner. Oh, he's trying to get into the pits. Oh, man. What a mess.
That was very awkward.
All right, now we have a train with Kyle Turner leading the Guzman brother, Carlos, with Matt Bowden going off track. There's just so much going on right now. We're trying to catch it. All right, Martinez is pressuring Toledo. Martinez started in P7, moved up to P5. Oh, Evan, what did you just see right there in your screen?
Porsche went a little wide there, dipped the outside tires in the grass, and it whipped him back to the right across the track. Thankfully, it didn't collect anybody there that I could see, but had to back out of that one. Looks like Grover and Thomas are falling back from the pack now.
You're not wrong there. That was Tyrell Foster, and Tyrell even said, you know, to finish first you have to finish, and his goal was just keep it on track. Looks like it's going to be a long race for Tyrell. Look at this train we have going on here. We're going to stick here because we're on board with Gavin Thomas. We have Hohenberger behind him. He's a new name I'm not familiar with. Constantine, followed by Hoskins and Wolfman and Rowley, all within half a second of each other. All right, and looks like the Ferrari is going long. Constantine, sorry, Doug, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Gavin has to be one of the best winners out of this first few laps. If I recall, he was further back, and now he's all the way up to 17th already.
Let's see. Gavin Thomas has moved up from P27 to P10. You are spot on there, Doug. All right,
You can see the cars swerving on the straight, just searching for grip.
You know, Jess Osborne dropped back to P13. What happened to him? He started in the front of the grid. He must have had an off track. All right, we're gonna go back to this battle between Hohenberger, Constantine, Wolfman, and Hoskin. They're all just in a nice little train. All right, looks like they're starting to separate out. Guzman just got overtaken. Did I miss it? Oh, yeah, nope, looks like he just went wide. And Rimzik got on through. Rimzik with a nice overtake, didn't get distracted there. We're going to watch him now live as he is within a tenth about it, Math, and he actually overtakes Math. Rimzik is showing great car control here, and looks like Carlos is going to pressure Matt into the last corner and gets that move done. He's going to try and chase down Rimzik and battle him. Looks like Damian...
Matt refusing to give back his position.
Let's look at this. Damiani got the move on Carlos on the inside of the final corner, but Carlos holds it, knowing that he's going to get the inside on the next corner. And was able to hold off Damiani's overtake. But no, Damiani ended up getting it done. I'm sorry, that was a replay. And we missed the actual overtake.
Damiani leaving a lot of extra space because he's been haunted the past few races with different incidents. I think that it's in his best interest to just have a nice clean drive and let his pace do the talking.
Oh, we've got a battle for the lead right now. Jason Allen just went wide, and it looks like Daihy is going to pressure him into this chicane. This is a tough spot to overtake, but you can get it done. Daihy goes a little bit off track. He's probably going to yield that position, knowing that he gained an unfair advantage. He does. Daihy is now under pressure from Josh Arnold. I'm sorry, that was Jason Allen in the lead. I think I said Josh Arnold. Daihy's now got dirty tires. He's going to be wanting to catch back up to Allen with Josh right behind him. Evan, what have you seen so far in this race?
Still fights here towards the back. Been clean for the most part. Just bumper to bumper here. This is great watching.
Who are you on board with right now?
Watching Foster driving Mr. Wolfman side by side into turn 10. Hugs it tight. Gets it done. Nice move.
All right. Looks like they're gonna battle back into this corner. No, it looks like they're gonna settle. So Rimzik actually just got overtaken by Guzman. So Jose got past Rimzik. They're having quite a little battle right here. Evan, what just happened?
Foster just lost it after that beautiful overtake on Wolfman. Just got on the gas a little too eager there and spun it. Almost went into the pit lane on accident. That was scary.
Oh man, imagine if we had another week where a car got wedged into the pit lane.
You'd think it would only happen once, but it's seemingly every week we have a near incident.
Jess Osborne going off track. Oh, I know how difficult it is to try and save that BMW in the grass.
Gentlemen, it looks like it's a race of attrition tonight. A lot of the AMs are struggling to get traction. They're pushing the cars. They're really heavy right now with all that extra fuel because the pit strategy should not be to take new tires. You should want to hold on to the warmth in your tires as much as possible. And I think that if you just keep it clean, you're going to be gaining a lot of positions. Speaking of it, literally every chance we talk, there's another car off track.
Sorry, everyone. We just missed this. They went... Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like they're still battling. I wanted to see how they got too wide.
Allen just had a bad exit with a little bit too much rotation. Daihy just has the inside line now.
And Daihy got the position done right here.
Oh, no.
Who did you just see?
Little accordion there. I think the Audi pushed the Ferrari into the Bentley, and the Bentley goes sideways into the grass. That was sad to see. That was Gavin Thomas. He was putting together such a good start, and nothing he could really do there.
You hate to see that. Now we have Daihy. He's now back in the lead. He's got Jason Allen behind him, and he's kind of pulling a gap on Allen. Josh is now coming up on Jason. And, you know, I asked him in the pre-race interview, I said, is there going to be team orders? And they said, no, we're not, you know, we're going to allow racing. If Josh runs by me, he's going to have to get by me on track. And so we might see a teammate battle right here, and that's might lead to Martinez being able to scoop up some positions because he's now within a second of these of Arnold. And so we've got the top four drivers all within a second of each other. I'm going to hop on board with Damiani. It looks like he's going to be trying to overtake Kyle Turner here.
Martinez looked very comfortable during the very wet qualifying session, so I'm not surprised to see his confidence on a wet track right now at race pace.
Oh, Evan, man, that looked close.
Wolfman wants to get by this McLaren real bad.
Damiani's got a run on Kyle Turner. Looks like he's going to get the inside into turn one. And he's going to be able to get that move done and keep it on track. Damiani fighting his way through the grid. Now he's currently in P6. I'm going to hop back on board with our leaders. Look at this train. Doug, do you see this? They're about to go 3 wide in this corner. We have Martinez pushing into Josh Arnold. Arnold was getting held up by his teammate.
This is where team orders plays its better course. If you have a teammate, leverage it. You don't want to battle with everyone on track. You need a friend.
Yep. Josh would have been like, let me by. You're just slowing us both down. Let me chase down Daehee. And, you know, Jason wants that silver medal, and he's like, you know, I've still got pace. I can chase down Daehee. It's one thing.
He will happily let them battle in his rearview mirror as he's building a 2.5 second gap.
He couldn't ask for anything else. I mean, that is exactly what he wants. And in fact, that the two of them are battling, and another person is come into play. They're definitely going to be regretting this if they come back and watch the race. Like, you know what? We need to use our team's strengths and to our advantage.
Wolfman off track again, and he's just having an absolutely nightmare of a race.
All right, shout out to the Guzman brothers. We're seeing some shout outs in the chats. In fact, let's actually hop on board with one of them. Carlos is looking like he's going to try and get a move done on Kyle Turner here in just a second. Maybe a little bit far back. Man, Evan, you've got some action going on in the picture-in-picture.
It's been nonstop here. We've had 4, 5, 6 car trains here in Sector 3, lap after lap. This is crazy.
Oh, Jason Allen just went off track. Let's see if we can catch up what happened. Oh, just a little wide on the corner exit. Luckily didn't take anybody out. And luckily didn't lose too many positions. Jose Toledo is catching up to him.
That's the result of just pushing a little bit too hard, trying to compromise braking zones, and just sliding out because of it.
You know, we're going to hop on board with this three-way battle right now that Evan's been watching. We've got Alex Daniel chasing down Mr. Hoskin and defending from Dan Meyer.
At some point, Alex Daniel in the BMW picked up some front end damage. I saw his hood was a little scrunched in, so he's fighting with less front aero, and around here you do not want that, especially in the rain. He's doing his best he can to fight off Dan Meyer, but he's right on his bumper every corner here.
Sorry, I wanted to hop on board with Jose Guzman. We've got some fans in the chat, and Jose is looking like he's trying to get a move done. Oh, he's going for the switchback. Let's see if he can pull this off, and it looks like Colin Shea just outbraked himself. These guys are battling. Look at this.
That was a switchback into a switchback.
It was. It was. All right, we got Jose Guzman, who's going to hold off onto the lead. Colin Shea is in the silver McLaren. Jose is in the light blue. Looks like Colin might have hit the grass a little bit. Great move. And now we'll hop on board with Carlos Guzman, who's chasing down Kyle Turner again. They've been battling this entire race. And the Guzman boys are sitting 8 and 9 at the moment.
We're looking at a 6-car McLaren train in the midfield right here.
Someone say that car's pretty fast right here. Now I'm going to hop on board really quick with Martinez. Oh, Allen is having a bad race. He just went off again. Sorry to jump back and forth. I'll hop back on board with Martinez. Martinez is 3/10 behind Joshua Arnold, and this is the podium fight right here. Man, Jess Osborne also just went off track and lost a couple of positions.
Yeah, he got a little loose on the outside curb, tried to correct, and it finally wiped out on him.
Boys, we're gonna hang out with this battle really quick for P2 and P3.
Rightfully so, they're tight.
This is some good racing right here. Behind them, you see Jose Toledo and Josh Damiani also battling. And then who do we have in the picture-in-picture down below, Evan?
This is Guzman on Kyle Turner, looking up the inside, turn 1. Side by side.
Oh, and it looks like he got the move done, yes.
Very bold, and guess the reward was there.
Great car control. Great car control. All right, and it looks like that has led to a pretty... We now have a Carlos Guzman train. So you have Kyle Turner, Jason Allen, and Jose Guzman all within a second of each other. Evan, do you want to go to the sky cam and see this train battle out?
It looks like Carlos got a little sideways there. Oh no!
No, what just... Oh! Let's hop on board. Let's catch a replay really quick.
That green paint.
The grass. Oh. Oh.
Just didn't want to give it up.
Yeah, we'll have to check the replay on that one in depth after the race. See what happened. Now Damiani chasing down Jose Toledo. Damiani is wanting a really good finish here. I mean, he's had such bad luck. He wants to fight his way to a podium, I'm sure.
He's about to have a look here at P4. He got a much better run as Toledo got on the curb, which is very slippery.
The outside here is sketchy. Yep.
Oh, but he's got the switchback. You know,
great run there. Let's go.
Damiani loves those switchbacks. Oh, who did you just see? Who just caught bumper?
Foster caught Hartman. Oh no. And Hartman had such a good qualifying session, and he just I don't know what's happened. He's been involved in a couple of those incidents, and he's fallen back. He's in P22 now.
That looked like it was Tyrell, and Tyrell also had a good qualifying and fell back, and he's probably just wanting to make up positions and was a little bit more ambitious there. And
with no remorse, just drives off.
Doesn't even wait for him, and so we encourage our drivers to wait if they spin somebody. It'll lessen your penalty afterwards, and so if you know that you did something wrong, just sit there and wait for that driver to get back on track.
That being said, Damiani in P5, if my memory serves me, he started in P15, so an absolute surge through the midfield. Evan, what other big movers are we looking at right now?
Rimzik is up 10 positions, up in P9. A newcomer, Hohenberger, in the 573 Audi is also up 10 spots. Couple of movers up and down, rest of the way down. Yeah, like I said, Hartman started 5th on the grid and has fallen down to P20 now. That is unfortunate.
That hurts.
And another shocker here, Ricky Rios, usually a contender for our AM series, is back in P27.
Absolute shocker there. He had a really good qualifying session.
He did. Yeah, a lot of big winners and some big losers tonight.
Well, let me give you updates on where the current battles are going on. Jose Toledo and Josh Damiani are battling for P4. We have Jason Allen and Jose Guzman battling for P6. We have Matt Baudin and A. Grover. I'm sorry, Matt. I don't know. I butchered your... Oh! Jose Guzman just went off track. What happened here? Oh, he's going to run wide on exit. Oh, the rear end just started going out on exit. Oh, Jose. You were doing so well. You were fighting up there. Currently sitting in P11.
And for extra damage, he pirouettes in the grass, losing more time.
Yeah, now he's
praying to try and recover his position here against Mathieu. Yep, the extra aggression, both of them come together.
Oh no, and Evan, what did you just see?
Jacob Rogers just tagged Wolfman in the rear. Looks like he's going to hang out and wait for him. That's the gentleman's move there. Just a little deep on the brakes, and there's not much you can really do to stop that well in the rain, but you got to make space and get the pass done cleanly, and Wolfman gets spun around. He does the gentlemanly thing and hangs out in the gravel with him until he gets by.
You hate to see those spins.
And once you commit to that breaking point and you realize it's not enough and you're going to rear end the guy, and there's not much you can do but just watch it happen. And it's sad to see, and just the tiniest little mistake like that can have a huge impact, especially in the rain here. It's so hard to correct and try to save it. It's almost impossible. You just end up washing out.
Damiani is P4, looking at Jose Toledo. He's inspecting that rear bumper for any damage, signaling he might go down the inside. pressuring Jose into trying to make a mistake. Jose keeps his cool, keeps it together. Damiani's now side by side. Jose is gonna go, block the inside. Damiani's like, don't worry, I have no problem doing a switchback. It's my favorite move. I do it every race.
Every lap,
Every lap, every corner.
No one in front of me. Let me hit him with a switchback.
And it looks like they're coming up on some lap traffic. That looks like it is Jacob Wolfman. Colin Shea looks like he just. Oh no! I'm gonna hop on board and check out this replay because they were battling. There's a three-way battle for a position. There was some contact and someone went off track. Oh!
Oh.
Tagged.
That was Matthew.
Mathieu. Oh no!
All right, we're back on board, and we've got a blue flag getting in the way of a battle. Damiani and Toledo, and now Martinez is in the mix. Martinez is that red Ferrari. Damiani's now playing defensive. He was being very aggressive and attacking Toledo. Now I'm going to get the elbows out. Oh, and Toledo goes off. Damiani could have asked for anything better, especially when it became going for P3 to defending P4. Now he's going to hope for Jose to get his pace back and pressure Martinez and try and slow him down.
For those at home that are confused, if you look at it from the right side, it's a blue Ferrari and a red Aston Martin. And on the other side of the car, it's a blue Aston Martin and a red Ferrari.
Just so we're clear, Damiani is in the Aston Martin up front. Then we have Martinez in the Ferrari. And then Toledo in the green Aston Martin behind him. Man, what started with Josh Arnold and Jason Allen, both in the podium positions at the start of the race, and Daihy by himself, is now Daihy's got his teammate on the podium, and Joshua Arnold is by himself. How the turntables have turned.
Tabled.
Oh, the turntables have tabled.
What I can tell you is that from our race yesterday, team orders definitely played to Sith Racing alliances and pretty well. Let's see if the Hasta La Vista team leverages that same team orders where the flying aces of the two Audis, Arnold and Allen, did not want to take advantage.
Yeah, the flying aces are going to be, wondering what went wrong in the first half of this race. Although they might not look too closely at it if Josh Arnold can hawk down Daihy and get on P1 and Jason cut his way back up through the field, they might not even worry about it. Or Daihy and Damiani might. Oh my goodness! What was that? Where was that?
Oh, Boudin lost it down the hill. Meyer took avoiding action and ran wide, and Foster picked up 2 freebies there.
Mathieu is having a hard time in this rain. Wow, what a move! I think that was that Tyrell to avoid that?
That was Tyrell with the little dodge there.
What a move!
Honestly, great driving from Dan Meyer too. He saw the car and it was sliding, and he took his line and he made it work. That was great.
Amazing there wasn't contact anywhere there. The 360 quick scope by the McLaren across the track.
While that happened, Martinez must have had something happen. He lost a position to Toledo, and that gave Damiani.
Yeah, just as you switched over, he was in the grass taking out some of the different sponsor boards on the straight.
Well, they didn't pay to be on this stream, so I'm okay with that. And they're not my brake markers anymore, so go ahead and get rid of them.
Calculated.
All right, so let's. Oh, Tyrell Foster just overtook somebody who went into the pits. Looks like our pit window is now open. Let's see here. Let's hop on board Grover and look at this purple Lamborghini.
I love the look of that livery. It is clean. It is sexy. I'm a sucker for purple cars. Great driver, great car, love that.
And he's about to get an overtake on Jose Guzman. Jose Guzman is struggling for traction. Look at that. This might be the first time where it's not a commentator's curse, but a commentator's blessing. Grover was just out doing his own thing and no cars around him, and now he's in a battle. Oh my gosh, what was that lunge that we just saw down there?
I think Rimzik thought he'd carry a little more speed through there, and Turner took the slower inside line, almost had a bang-bang situation there.
Well, our first podium spot is pitting. Damiani's going into the pits. I'm sure Dahi and Damiani are trying to talk about, okay, what's our strategy here? Because it looks like they are working together as a team. We got Grover, who's going to follow him, Jose Guzman, into the pits. That's an interesting strategy. Kind of hard to overtake in the pit box, but you know what? Grover might know something we don't know.
It is possible.
What I can tell you is that some of these stop-go penalties are starting to add up. We have a disqualification from our newcomer, Hohenberger. Hohenberger? Excuse me.
No.
And a drive-through penalty for Tyrell Foster. So the penalties lending themselves to poor pit entry and speeding in the pit lane, it looks like.
Wow. Well, I just hopped on board with Hoskin because we haven't talked about him much this race. And it looks like he's going in the pits. He was just catching up to the back of the BMW, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to drive behind this car. I'm going to try to do an undercut and overtake him. All right. Well, everybody is entering into the pit stop stage, and so we're not seeing many battles on track at the moment. A lot of people are spread out. Let's kind of go through. Our top 8 have not pit yet, so anybody in the top 8 positions are staying out. Damiani is the leader of the people that have pits, and it looks like we're gonna have a battle coming out of the pit stop with Hoskin and the BMW. Is that?
I think that's Will Forsling.
Will Forsling. I think Will Forsling is a lap down though, so they're actually not battling for position. All right, let's hop on board. Damiani is back out, and he is now battling Jess Osborne. And remember, Jess has not pit yet. And so they're not actually battling for a true position at the moment. But there are no blue flags in the situation because Jess is not a lap down. He's just driving his own race. We did just see Jason Allen. I'm sorry to hop on board with someone else, but we saw Jason Allen just lost a position to Kyle Turner. We'll move over to Jose Toledo. He is on the bumper of Martinez. Remember, neither one of them have pit yet.
Martinez did manage to get past Toledo a second time.
Oh, look at that bumper. Oh, and he spins him. No, Toledo. Oh, and he doesn't wait for him. He doesn't wait for him.
That's just bad manners.
That's tough to watch.
They were having a good battle.
They really were, and he had so much speed there. He just had to pick a lane, and he picked the one with the car already in it.
Or just lift a tiny bit on the throttle so you don't punt the guy. Well, everyone, let me give you an update on Daehee Yoon as we're halfway through this race. He started in the lead. Did not come out of turn 1 in the lead, though, but fought his way back, and now also holds fastest lap. So he's currently got the pole position point, fastest lap point, and... Oh, we just saw someone hit the pits! What was that? Who was that?
Was that Toledo?
Who was that? Was that Toledo? No, that was one of the other.
I think it was. Is that or... Oh, man. Is that or his teammate? That might be karma for spinning Martinez.
Is it Rios? No. Man, I'm trying to find an Aston Martin that's sitting on the side of the...
It might have been Rios. He might have gotten back up and going already.
Sorry, everyone, as I was jumping around trying to find the car.
The pit window is waning, and after all these different incidents on track, it starts to make you a little nervous that if you push it a little bit too long, maybe you have an incident and you don't make it back to pit in time. So some people definitely need to start thinking about what their best strategy is.
You know what has me worried is if you look at the weather indicator in the top right-hand corner, it is raining hard, and it's going to rain harder, and it's going to rain harder all throughout this race, which means the last laps of this race are going to be the trickiest laps to manage. And who do we have going off track? That was Rimzik. Oh no, Rimzik.
Rimzik has a little bit of a moment, but he concedes the position as opposed to really stretching it out, which is really smart. He reduces the risk and takes the battle on for later.
That is the smart thing to do. Is, you know what? I've got 30 more minutes. I am not going to lose my entire race right here trying to save a half a second. Oh, and who is that? 714 in the green. Aston was going wide. It looks like he's a blue flag.
I think that's Rios.
Well, we just saw Jess Osborne go into the pits.
The pit lane is so short that you can get in and get out before we as commentators even notice.
Yeah, and Daihi is still hanging out there. He is he's extending this stint as long as possible. He's got a 40-second gap to P2. I'm not sure how much time you lose in the pits.
It's not a lot. We were talking yesterday about pit strategy, and I went in 9th and I came out 10th, which was very bizarre.
Oh, who are we on? Damiani. Oh, with a slide and a save. Did you see that rear end?
What a save. That's incredible.
Josh Drift King Damiani, ladies and gentlemen.
He's the cutback and Drift King and lap 1 Chaos King as well.
A man of many names and many talents.
We'll hop on board with Jason Allen, who is hawking down Rimzik. Oh, it looks like Matthew, did he retire from the race?
Well, he's in chat, so he's either really good at multitasking or he has retired the car.
I think he retired for the race. I was looking to see if I could see him at the bottom of the finishing order, but yeah, he just said he's a bit mad about all that is happening.
Yeah, it just looked like your car's setup was a little bit too loose, my friend. Better luck next race, and we know you got the pace.
Yeah, but it is not easy for anybody at home watching to drive this track when it is severely wet. All right, and so we are still on board with Jason Allen. He is the only driver currently fighting for a position. He is 3/10 behind Mr. Rimzik. Rimzik currently sitting in P6. Where did Rimzik start the race? I think it was
pretty far back.
Yeah, he's moved up 13 positions. Damiani has moved up 12 positions. Jason Allen has fallen back 5, and so Jason's trying to crawl back some of those spots he's lost.
I think Jason's pushing the car just that little bit too much, and that's causing him to have little moments here and there, and it's costing him quite a bit of time. He just needs to settle down and maybe drive at that 95% pace, not the full 100. But kudos to Rimzik and other drivers making big gains in these conditions. Consistency is key, and it's proving itself in many respects.
Well, I want to give you an update. Our leader has pit and come out of the pits 11 seconds ahead of P2. And then we have 3 people battling for position as Rimzik goes wide and opens the door for Jason Allen, but Rimzik's going to have the inside line coming in this next corner. Rimzik was battling Martinez, trying to get past him. Martinez starts to pull a gap with that little slip up there. Allen is still ready to pounce. Rimzik has just a little bit bigger of a mistake. All right, Evan. 25 minutes left to go in the race. Pit window just closed. You know, everybody on track is fighting for positions. You know, what were your thoughts at this point in the race last night?
I mean, coming out of the pits, I spun the car, so I don't do that. Gotta stay focused. You 30 more minutes, or 25 minutes, excuse me, 25 minutes to keep her on the black stuff and just hope that others in front make a mistake. I mean, it's so hard to pass here, as you can tell. There's not a lot of room and not a lot of grip on the outside. Got to keep the pressure on and force somebody to check the rear view and maybe lose focus a little bit and hopefully pick up a freebie. Otherwise, it's going to be real tough to stick your nose in anywhere and make it stick.
You know, it is funny that you say that. You got to keep it focused and keep it on the black stuff. Literally at 20-minute mark last night, me and Doug were talking, and I'm notorious for liking silence in the chat. I am unable to talk and drive at the same time. And I broke my silence and I said, all right, 20 minutes to go, keep your head down, let's keep it focused. And boom, at that moment I went off track. It was a classic Tyler move. And I wish would have had Evan in there to tell me, you know, just keep it focused, keep it on the black stuff. That way I wouldn't break my own concentration.
Yeah, because whenever I say something, it's always a big deal. But as we say that, Rimzik almost gets plowed from behind, and he goes off in a very awkward exchange there.
That looked like he just made a mistake. Did not look like Alan touched him. Excuse me.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Alan's going to be loving life right now. It's an easy overtake there, and pick up a couple more of those and end up further up the field.
Well, we had Carlos Guzman, who was avoiding collecting Rimzik, and now Carlos is trying to track him down. And Rimzik going off track, he's going to get a very slow exit. Guzman is going to be closing this gap here in just a second. And as I say that, the other Guzman, Jose, just went off track and lost position to Colin Shea. We got a fan of Jay Rogers in the chat saying, put the pedal to the metal. It's currently down in P22, looking to chase down William Forsling. I don't want to break away.
Can take a sigh of relief that pit window is closed, so he doesn't have to go near the pit anymore.
Oh, and is that Rimzik getting the move back done on Carlos? No, that was Carlos. That was Carlos getting past Rimzik. Sorry, these liveries look so similar.
Especially on a cloudy day where all the reflections of the rain just make everything washed out.
Grover just got an overtake done in that Lamborghini. We got an Italian battle, the Lambo and Ferrari, fighting with Jess Osborne and the BMW, wanting to get by these drivers. He's like, man, I've got the pace. I just need to get by him. I'm gonna replay just so we can kind of see what happened coming into this corner. Ah, I just missed the overtake. I'm sorry.
It looks like Grover just had a much better exit out of the previous corner and was able to get the run down.
Yep. Grover, a new addition to the league. Oh man, excuse me. I've started yawning, and I probably won't be able to stop.
We love drivers like Grover. They join the league with a little bit of, fear of driving on the grid for the first time, and they get in, they practice quite a bit. They're very active in the community, Discord, talking, asking questions. They're getting involved in the practice races and other exhibition events. And then they stick it on track and they surprise themselves. And they show pace, they show racecraft, and every week they get better. That's what SRA stands for. So if you're interested in any form of sim racing, we are a community really devoted to helping you and making you a better driver. And you can climb the ranks from rookie to AM and future pro.
And while we're still sticking with this battle with Constantine and Osborne and Grover, I want to echo what Doug said, man. If you're hesitant about joining a league, join ours. It's we have it pretty well organized. We really encourage clean racing, and man, the people that actually come in and put the work and get involved, man, we have all picked up a lot of pace just from us all pushing each other, driving close to each other. What impresses me the most is how many people can drive within half a second of the car in front or behind them, lap after lap in this league, without having an accident. I mean, you go into an open lobby, as soon as you get within 3/10 of somebody, they're brake checking you, or they're braking awkwardly, or moving over left and right, and the racing here has just been incredible.
Practice makes perfect, and racing every week with the same guys who are about equal skill level as you really molds you into a better driver. You learn how to pass appropriately and safely, and defend appropriately and safely, and racecraft just goes up and up, and the guys around you are getting better too. It's just a great experience having a community that's all focused on racing cleanly and respectfully, and just really helping each other out, just get better at racing. I mean, I came into the league super nervous like a lot of these guys, and I try to show up every week and get better, and I can tell my pace has improved significantly than when I started, and just the on-track battles are such a blast. It's awesome. Contributing every week.
Constantine is getting a run on Grover. Grover's gonna have to defend the inside, and I echo everything you say, Evan. I just want to make sure that we catch this on track. Grover holds the position again. Man, he's got a very wide Lamborghini tonight, let me tell you.
Also, very, very smart driving from Constantine, picking the right battle, putting the pressure on, but not taking a move that's going to cause both of them chaos.
Oh, and Jess is...
As I say that, Jess is sending it, causing chaos.
Well, Jess has been biding his time patiently, goes off track. Is he going to save it? No, too much! Oh, and he keeps it out of the wall, which is the most important part.
He doesn't lose chaos.
As I said that, Colin Shea also, I think, went off track. Yep, same spot. Monkey see, monkey do. Jose Guzman. Then it says, don't mind if I do, and I'll catch on the other side. Oh, Constantine also spun. No, it's getting wetter, I'm telling you. It is getting wetter.
I'm inside the car at Dan Meyer here following this Bentley, and the spray on the windshield is absurd right now.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Let's go passenger cam really
quick.
Look
at this group of cars.
You can't see anything. That's how bad the spray is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What is that? Who was that? Oh.
The racing is going to get harder and harder as this race progresses. Tyler and I were communicating excessively yesterday, telling each other when we thought that there was more grip or less grip.
Evan, what was that down there? Was that Wolfman and Meyer get into it?
Yeah, Meyer just showed Wolfman his passenger door there and pushed him a little wide, took the position. I mean, Rubbin's racing, but that was bold. I mean, that could have ended terribly for either one of them or both, and thankfully they're still both running. But
so
yeah, a little scrubbing there.
This is the awkward mechanic of ACC and its weather settings, is that the game does not gradually get faster or slower in the wet. It is like the game turns on a switch and it's like, oh, next level of dry or next level of wet, and all of a sudden you just lose pace. And so you have to be able to adapt quickly, which is why we're seeing so many incidents happen at around the same time, is because the game just said, you know what, the track's going to have a little bit less grip. And these drivers have been driving with an expected level of grip, and he goes long. Rimzik does a good job of avoiding Turner. These drivers have been driving with the same level of grip for at least 20 minutes, and the game just changed it on them, so they need to be able to adapt and keep it on track. And I'm going to hop on board with Carlos Guzman, who's chasing down Jason Allen.
You can see the track now. Before there was a defined dry line, and now that dry line is dissipating and turning into what would otherwise be just more wet track. And drivers have to adapt, like Tyler was saying. Otherwise, we're going to have a whole host of more incidents in our future here.
It will get worse in the last 5 minutes of the race as well. So the track condition is only going to get worse. Who are you on board with, Evan?
Watching Ricky here, trying to get the move done on Jacob Rogers ahead in that BMW. It looks like Rios has a little front end damage. That hood is bouncing.
I hopped on board and just saw Dan Meyer lock it up coming into the corner. I'm telling you, the grip level is it's fading away. But you know who's not been affected by this? Dahi. He has increased the gap on Josh Arnold. It was 12 seconds, and now it is 17 seconds.
Wow.
Dahi's going to be able to make the two-stop strategy work here in a minute.
I was talking to Dahi before the race, and I just encouraged him to just drive his race nice and smooth. Don't push out your boundaries. And at the beginning, if you have to sacrifice a little bit just to give yourself a little more room on race start, that's what you need to do. Build a little bit of organic space, and it's paying huge dividends for him right now. He's just in his own world, minding his own business, and that's where he's really good. He's a hot lap driver. He gets in the practice server, spends 30, 45 minutes practicing, and this is right in his wheelhouse right now.
Yes, and we're on board with Carlos Guzman chasing down Jason Allen, just so everybody watching is aware. But yeah, to echo that, and pulling a gap on Josh Arnold is no joke. I mean, when we look at our SRA ratings, it is, I believe it is Josh Arnold who's ranked the highest in the AM. So Josh is a extremely talented driver. So to increase the gap on him just means you are in the groove. You've adapted to the new conditions. I mean, he's almost got a 19-second gap on Arnold.
That's huge. Arnold is even ranked higher in that newly implemented SRA rating system than some of the pros in our category. So he's looking to get promoted next season, along with the likes of Dahi and other top AM drivers. But to your point, Arnold is a wicked quick driver, and Dahi's putting on an absolute show right now.
So I'm hopping on board with this four-way battle we've got going on. We've got Will Forsling leading, Jacob Wolfman, Dan Meyer. And then I think we've got a blue flag.
Is that Hoskin in P16?
That is Hoskin in P16. So they don't want to pass Hoskin, otherwise they'll just get shown blue flags. But they are all battling for position. Will Forsling leading the pack of the drivers that are down 2 laps. Jacob Wolfman and Dan Meyer fighting for P20, P21.
Wolfman and Meyer have shown immense tenacity this race. They have been battling the entire time and had some incidents trading back and forth, but both of them just putting in the time and continue to grind out despite some of the rougher parts of this race for each of them.
Sorry, I'm just jumping on board. We saw Jose Guzman go off track chasing down Jason Allen, so Jason Allen's got some breathing room now. We're on board with Colin Shea. Colin Shea is chasing down Jose Guzman. And he has gone long on a couple of his braking points. Oh, and he just... Oh, he saved it. Like I said, the track is getting more and more wet. It is getting more and more difficult to drive. Expect to see this leaderboard change because we're going to see people go off track and lose several positions.
That saved by Colin Shea is the reason why I wear brown racing suit. No one can tell when you have a brown helmet.
Oh, Dan! Sending it into turn 1. You know, you would think these guys are fighting for P1, not P20 and P21.
I've spoken to both of these guys, and they are hungry to get better every race. Like we talked about earlier, some of the people in our community are so engaged. These two, all season long, have been battling. They have such similar pace, and it's great to see, even at different aspects of the grid, we have people fighting with great contention.
Oh, Jacob goes wide. And Dan is going to get the move done into the next corner. But don't expect Jacob to sit back and just let that happen.
No shot.
But yeah, my comment on them fighting for P20, P21, I mean, you love to see that. That's how I am. I mean, it doesn't matter where I am on track. I want that next position more than that driver who has the next position. And it doesn't matter if it's for last and second to last. I'm going to fight tooth and nail for every spot.
They have to be careful, though. That's P3 right behind them.
The last thing Damiani needs, is to be in a podium spot with 10 minutes to go and get in a blue flag incident.
If I'm Damiani, I'm thinking I got a 6 second gap to work with, and these two guys are scrapping it out. I'm gonna keep some space in between the two of them for a little bit and pass when it's most convenient.
Yeah, it looks like he does back out a little bit right there. You know, Damiani said he even brought an upgrade to this race to ensure to improve the reliability of his race team. So he invested in more table clamps to make sure his wheel stays attached to the desk. Because reliability is just as an important factor in real life racing as it is in sim racing. So
he also had a driver swap, which explains his mega pace. Nah, just kidding, Josh. That's all you, buddy.
Hopping on board with Carlos Guzman, he's still chasing down Jason Allen. I feel like these guys are just, slinking each other. One will catch up and maybe get past, and the other one will catch up and fall back and catch up again and then get past, and these guys are just trading spots all race. Evan, any other big movers we haven't talked about?
We discussed Damiani up there in P3, up 12 spots. Rimzik up 10, sitting P9, and Grover in the purple Lambo started P20. He's up in P10. He's got to be happy about that performance.
Well, Grover is now looking in his rearview mirror and seeing this BMW again. Can I please get away from Jess Osborne? He's been harassing me and Constantine all race. Grover's like, this blue flag, please do not hold me up. Oh, Jess is gonna get the run, but backs out to ensure he doesn't contact Grover.
Jess has the pace. He's just been pushing a little bit too hard.
Grover went wrong and spun. No. Oh, you hate to see a spin like that after driving a wide Lambo all race.
To be fair, the damage was minimal. He's able to.
He's gonna go long in the next corner. That's what happens. You just lose your heat. You lose a grip. He lost another position. Can he take this next corner cautiously and just keep it together for a lap and get his feet back underneath him?
That'll really take you out of your rhythm, and you see your position drop there, lose a couple spots, and you're thinking, I gotta go, and you just get a little lost in tunnel vision on trying to get going, miss your brake marker, get on the gas a little early. It's such a challenge to relax in those situations and just get back to focus.
When that happens to me, I'm waking the kids, I'm waking the neighbors' kids with profanities. The cops are getting called because there's been a murder that went down in my house, and all that happened is I just put 2 tires in the grass, and that's about it. So I get the one mistake leads into another mistake because you just get so frustrated.
My list of firstborn children grows every time that happens to me. I got quite the list growing, and I'm not proud of it, but at the end of the day, I get what I'm owed.
Yes. If you are near Doug when he goes off, he curses your children, and your firstborn specifically. All right. Well, Grover looks like he's going to be able to. He's got his tires back underneath him. As we're looking on track, no one is within a second of each other, so now it's about kind of maintaining your race. Jose Toledo is kind of hawking down Damiani. Let's kind of go through the grid really quick, and let's just kind of show all the cars. Of course, we got Jason Allen, we got Carlos Guzman, we've already shown them. Kyle Turner in the Wonder Bread McLaren. Mr. Rimzik, we've showed him quite a lot. Constantine Guzman, we've shown them. Grover, shown them. Colin Shea, shown him a couple of times. Paula Hartman, I think we showed you during qualifying, but haven't showed you much during the race. Let's see your...
He had some incidents at the beginning, and now he's just kind of staying in this one position towards the middle of the pack.
You're right, he did. He lost 10 positions in the beginning, so... or he's lost 10 positions since the start, so that might be why. We did catch Hoskin and the Marlboro McLaren earlier. Looks like he is going to get lapped by... that Damiani, or is that...
That's Damiani. So again, that's the last thing he needs. Hoskin pulls over politely. What a gentleman.
Yeah. Alex Daniel just kind of driving his own race in P17. He's going real slow.
Almost got tagged.
And that's not his fault. He was letting off and off the racing line. For Miggle in the Audi, I don't think we've seen too much of this Audi tonight. He is currently...
Oh, but he has such a clever team name, though. Slow in, slow out. I love it. I'm telling you, you can make your experience that much better if you come up with a clever team name, you put together a clean livery, and you just go out there to have fun. You have a much better time than trying to be really sweaty and trying to be super competitive every race. You really burn yourself out that way. At the end of the day, this is a hobby for all of us, and you got to make it fun. So kudos to Louis for putting together a good combo with team name and livery.
He needs to yield this position. I think that's one of the Guzmans.
Yeah.
All right, next up,
just fine.
We got Will Forsling. He has pulled a gap from Dan Meyer and Jacob Wolfman. It looks like he, though, is about to be lapped. Is that Dahi or is that Damiani? Either way, you don't got to worry about Will. Will will move out of the way under a blue flag. Full confidence there.
It's Damiani. Every time we show somebody, it's Damiani in the rear view.
Dan Meyer just had a little bit of an off track, but he's still ahead of Wolfman. Jacob is going to be trying to hawk him down in the last couple of laps. Mr. Rios down in 22. You've had a terrible race. I'm so sorry about it. Started out so good. Rogers again, another off track for Rogers. It looks like I'm catching people. Looks like the grip is getting worse, everyone. I'm actually going to hop back on board with Carlos Guzman as he has closed the gap again to Jason Allen. I think the track has just gotten a little bit worse. And we've seen these gaps close down. We've seen mistakes happen. Oh! And was that Jason Allen who just went off? And yeah, and Carlos got past him.
Easy peasy. Yeah, that gap is now enormous.
2 seconds.
After that mistake.
I'm telling you, the game just turned it on, and the track is now even more wet. Dahi, 22 seconds ahead of our top-ranked amateur driver. 22 seconds. Oh, and we just had Jose Guzman just went off track. Jose just got lapped by Dahi. He's now a lap down. He's not under pressure for position behind him.
Oh, that is Grover in the background there, so that gap has gotten much smaller because of that incident, but to your point, still a couple seconds away.
Oh, and he just went off again! Let's see if...
He's struggling.
Grover's going to get the move done. We'll hop back on board with Guzman.
He's got to be absolutely fuming right now with only 40 seconds left in the race. His car is losing all sensibility right now.
Let's see, is Dahi going to force another lap? Let's see, if there are less than 22 seconds, Dahi can park on the start straight finish and just finish left. Josh Arnold just went off! Josh Arnold just went off in P2. Damiani is 6 seconds away.
Hasta La Vista looking for the extra points.
Josh Arnold just went off. Dahi's probably thinking. Dahi's like, I gotta start the next lap to give Damiani a chance.
He's stopping on the line.
Is he?
He did. I saw yellow, but he kept going. So he just succumbed a huge portion of his gap by stopping. And Josh is probably screaming at him, "Go, go! I got a lap to catch up."
So Dahi did keep going and started the next lap. That was good. That was good communication. Josh Arnold is going to fight for the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our fight for our last podium spot. No, for P2 and P3 on the last lap. They are bumper to bumper. The two Audis both having off tracks on the last 2 laps of the race.
Oh, Martinez picks up a drive-through in P5. That's going to hurt him really bad. But
oh, no. All because Daihi started this last lap to give his teammate an extra shot. Actually, no. Martinez probably would have picked up that anyways because it's probably in the chicane, which is before the finish. Let's see here. Martinez is dropping down to P8 currently.
That's not bad, all things considered. A drive-through penalty can be an absolute
Toledo's off
dagger.
track. Toledo's off track. That's your P4. Is he out of gas? Is he out of gas?
He's going mighty slow.
He might be out of gas. I'm going to stay on board with this battle for P2 and P3. But Toledo is losing positions to Carlos Guzman. Toledo is out of gas. Jose Guzman just lost a position to Grover. Grover got that position back on this last lap.
If Toledo can't finish this lap because he's out of fuel, everyone that finishes the lap gets to place ahead of him.
Yes, Toledo is absolutely out of fuel.
He is a ways away from that finish line. That is not good for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second race in the AM Series where the leader has started a lap and has caused absolute chaos. Wow, Josh Arnold holds off in the position. Toledo, does he have anything going? Like, what is Martinez? Oh, no! No! No, Martinez! No! No, 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 no! Get it going, Martinez. What are you doing? Who is that? Is that Jacob Wolfman?
Goodness.
Is that Jacob Wolfman?
Wolfman.
Oh, no!
Tagged on the apex.
Carlos Guzman! Something happened to him prior to the start. Carlos Guzman! He wrecked! He wrecked! He wrecked! Martinez might be able to get this position! No, Guzman!
Just by a second.
Guzman just got it.
Corner. If he didn't spin that final corner, he would have caught the position.
But Guzman lost a position to Turner. I'm pretty sure Guzman lost a position to Turner. All right.
Absolute.
What a last lap.
Of a last
what
lap.
a last lap. Oh my gosh. What a crazy race, everyone. What an absolutely crazy race.
We're still not done. We still have people crossing the finish line and P2 battling in the final corner. Grover holds off Jose Guzman.
Grover gets the position back. What a... I think Guzman went off track and finishes P12. Last one to finish for Miguel. Wow. Wow, I hope no one turned off this race early. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Incredible, incredible, incredible. Man, so these were your standings ahead of time, before the race. Joshua Arnold, Jose Toledo, Just Osborne, Daihi Yoon. Daihi taking 110, 111, 112 points. I'm sorry, he's got full points this race. Will rocket himself up into that podium contention, especially with Jess dropping down the order. Man, that was quite the race. Let's go ahead.
I'm grabbing our podium finisher. So I have Daihi, I have Damiani. Who else do I need to grab?
Josh Arnold. All right, so we got all three of them in the cool down room. Let's pull up Arnold and Damiani. Josh Arnold, Josh Damiani. We caught that entire last battle. Josh, we saw you go off track. We saw you spin. Yeah. Let's walk you through what we saw, and then I want to hear from your perspective. We saw you go off track. We were just talking to Daihi, or not talking to Daihi, talking about Daihi, and said Daihi is such a gap. He can park at the start-finish line and just end the lap whenever he wants to, and that'll be the last lap of the race. Then we see you go off, and then we see, oh no, Damiani's closing the gap. Damiani's going to catch up. We're thinking, oh no, is Daihi about to ruin Damiani's chance at P2? So then we see Damiani pick up the speed, and so I'm assuming Josh is screaming, Go, go, go! Finish this lap. Keep going. I need another lap. I need to get past Arnold. I mean, walk us through what happened from your perspective, because that's what we saw on the stream.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I was just trying to keep it clean, right, to finish it out. And that corner's been a little shady. I really had to feather it like the entire time, practice the race, everything. So going through there, I guess I got on it a little bit and it just started to slip out, and then I let off and then it just kept slipping. I was like, oh man. So then just right into the grass, and I was like, ah gosh. And I knew Damiani, you know, because like I had crew chief, so I kept hearing like 11 seconds behind, 12 seconds behind or so like that. And I just knew he was back there, and then I look at the map and see he's so close, and I was like, ah, crap. So I just had to get on it.
I can't believe you saved it.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm driving up towards the uphill right-hander where you had spun, and all I hear through the voice channel is, Josh just went around. And I immediately proceed to miss the braking point. Come around the corner and see you, but that was a fun way to end off that race.
It was. That added a little more spark at the end. So that was good stuff, man.
So I'm gonna pull up Daehee really quick. Hey Daehee, welcome to the commentators box. We've got both Joshes in here. Can you tell us what was going through your mind on that last lap?
So I tried to do something cheeky and finish the race before starting another lap so that I can save everybody the trouble. But it failed.
Well, we saw that happen on stream, and we were thinking, oh no, Daehee's about to screw his teammate out of a chance to fight for P2. Luckily, you started that lap, so we got to see another lap of action because, oh my gosh, Daehee, there was a ton of action behind you. These two were battling for P2 and P3, and then there was I think Toledo ran out of gas, is what it looked like. On the last lap, and so it was just absolute chaos because you started that lap. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I'm glad that I failed then.
So
task failed successfully.
Josh, Daehee, you guys were battling in the beginning of the race. Kind of walk me through the first half of the race.
So yeah, I was actually battling with Jason Allen, and he had a really good pace. He got a better start than me on the start of the race. I don't know if it's Aston Martin's like poor acceleration, but I seem to do pretty poorly. But he did his rear step down in one of the corners, and I was to take advantage of it, and that was really fun. After that, I pulled away. I started to pull away, and it was just sort of trying to make sure I don't spin.
Well, I can tell you that it was definitely entertaining. Thank you for that. Until you took the lead, and then you just decided to flex your sim racing muscles and pull a gap on everybody.
I think having a couple of wet races under my belt definitely helped, and a couple of tips from the pros definitely helped too. Like lifting liberally to make sure your car is like stable. I think is a great tip.
Yep. Well, happy to hear that you're learning and getting better. Any other questions from the commentators?
I'm good. I just want to congratulate all three of you guys. Really put on a great show. And Daehee, you were on another planet tonight. And yeah, Joshua Arnold, you were quick and spiced things up at the end. And Damiani, I thought you had a chance at P2 there, and that was just really fun to watch. You guys really saved it till the end to really make it exciting, and we appreciate that for sure. That was awesome watching.
Glad we could put on a show. It was quite the show from inside of the car. So glad it was outside.
It's been a good day for Hasta La Vista, finally.
Yes. Finally, Damiani avoided the carnage on lap 1 and ends up on the podium. I think there's a connection there. Well, that was a great race. Everyone watching, make sure you like and subscribe so you can be notified whenever we have races going up. And our next race will be on Tuesday night at Snetterton. It'll be the pro race. It'll be week 7, the penultimate race. You'll have Jess Arnold broadcasting again. Make sure you tune in. It'll be another banger, that is for sure. and then tune in exactly a week from today to watch the AMs go around the same track. It'll be a dry race this time, but it'll be just as fun to watch. With that being said,
I got one more interview that I wanted to perform real quick. Aiden Grover insisted on joining us in the commentator's booth to give us some insight about his perspective on the race. So I got him to come up here. So let's see here.
Aiden, go ahead, Doug.
Great race today, man.
Shoot, sorry guys, I misclicked.
All good. So kudos on a good race. We had you in the camera lens for quite a bit of the session here with your purple Lambo putting in some hot laps. But give us some insight. We noticed that the track was evolving, getting more and more wet. How was that experience for you?
I started to notice a change around, I don't know, about 20 minutes to the end, and I just started to feel the car loosen up.
In the throttle at all.
Hey, Dahi. Hey, Dahi. Yeah. Carlos Guzman is streaming, and you know how he gets when there's an incident? Can you go monitor that?
Oh, okay.
If you know what I'm saying.
Daddy Dahi is needed.
Gosh, that was good shit there.
Competition go, where was everybody surrounding me going? And so that's basically how it went down.
Yeah, we saw cars pirouetting and pulling off track. Like you said, it was just a light switch. At one point, the track just was much more wet. So thanks for your insight, and we're glad to have you in the commentator's booth. And week in and week out, we love to see you racing. You're putting on a good show for us. So thanks for your contribution to the community, and we'll catch you again next week.
Thank you so much, guys. I can't wait to race at Snetterton and Barcelona. Barcelona is going to be intense. I can already feel it.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite tracks in the league. So we are pretty eager to get back out there and make it our finale. So thanks again for your contribution, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. You guys too. Have a great night.
All right, guys. I think that's all we have for you this evening. From another spectacular race from the M division, this time in the very wet conditions, always makes things exciting. I'm very appreciative of what we had today, and for the two people that joined me in the booth today, Evan and Tyler, thanks for your always very good banter, and again, looking forward to next week.
Yeah, that was fun as always. I'm always happy to be here and looking forward to 2 more weeks of this thing.
Well, thank you too as well, and we will see you next week. That is all, and concludes week 6. See you later.
Cheers.